You know, I ask hard-hitting questions, and that's just what I do. So, you know what? Maybe I'll wait to ask this one when Nameless is here. Nameless, please announce when you're here. Because I would like both Sage and Nameless to chime in, because this is a groundbreaking question. It's also a common sense question as well. Corpse Files, you can, feel free if you've watched the movie to also chime in. But I've got a question that I need to ask. I need to get it off my chest. And I don't think you guys are going to have a good answer. No, I cannot have Judge. Well, you can just drop him and I could have him, and it wouldn't be the end of the world. But why wouldn't little Larry admit that was his homework? What did he have to lose? So 2 questions. What did he have to lose in admitting that was his homework? So A, why didn't he answer it, and what did he have to lose? I'm all ears right now, because, I had a late night last night. I was up till 10 in the morning. And I was just thinking, why didn't little Larry answer the question? Why was little Larry a little fucking bitch like Sage was? And these are the things I think about late at night. So what's your guys' opinion on little Larry? Why wouldn't he answer that? Sage replies with, leave poor Larry alone. He suffered enough, you monster. What did he actually suffer? He was asked if this was his homework, and they proceeded to drill the neighbor's car, so I'm not really sure what Larry lost in this whole endeavor. I'm just not sure. Okay, that could be a theory there. Because he doesn't want to claim that shittily done homework. So you're saying Larry's stupid. Does Larry seem like the type that was pretty stupid? He seemed pretty smart to me. Seemed like a smart boy, A man threatened to cut his dick off. The only reason his dick was threatened to be cut off in the defense is because he wouldn't answer the fucking question. He was being a little brat. So why is little Larry being such a fucking cunt about answering such a fucking simple question? Is this your homework? Yes, it's my homework. Did he think it was the principal and the vice principal coming in? I don't think that's how principals and vice principals look, at least not in my world. Is that what he thought? Do you think that maybe Larry is such a fucking asshole of a child that he is potentially killing his father? Maybe he is killing his father. You're killing your father, Larry. You're killing your father. I don't know. I just don't know why little Larry had to be such a little fucking asshole about that. I feel like I just don't understand what little Larry is. Maybe it's just I don't know, a critique on society that when you're a teenager, you're a fucking asshole for no fucking reason. I don't fucking know. I mean, Sage says it's pretty intimidating, man. I'd be frozen and fair too. He didn't look like he was frozen and fair. I've studied his facial expressions. He seemed pretty fucking cocky to me, with all due respect. You can go back to yesterday's stream. You can view that picture if you don't want to view the scene of the Big Lebowski. Is this your homework, Larry? And you can tell me, does he look scared? He doesn't look scared at all. I think little Larry was not to be trifled with. I think he was a rebellious little fucker, and that's the reason why his father was sick. That's my answer, and that's the best answer I've got. You know, I've dug deep into Sigmund Freud books over this shit, and that's all I've got. Yeah, Larry can fuck off. Fucking little brat, you know, he just stonewalls everyone, you know, just thinks it's too cool for school. Well, I've got a news flash for you, Walter Cronkite, known as Larry. You aren't. There you go. Alright, that's enough about little Larry. We've given him almost fucking 5 minutes of limelight right now. I'm not going to talk to Larry anymore. I'm not even going to bring that son of a bitch up. Little Larry can just rot in fucking hell. How's that fucking sound? He can rot in hell with his fucking homework burning at the goddamn frame. Let's get into sports. First things we're going to start with is the NBA. I've got good news. There was no news today in the NBA. Nothing at all. Nothing on Roto World. So that's it. That's the NBA coverage. Sage, you like that? That might have been the best coverage I've had of the NBA since we started covering the NBA. I know you like it short, sweet, to the point. I think that's pretty short, sweet, to the point. You know, I'm not boasting. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I think I hit that one 6,000 miles to Mars. That's how I think. Fastest NBA segment in history. Well, you know what? We've got a little bit of football. I've done good, but I can do gooder. In terms of the NFL, the Dolphins signed defensive tackle. I almost said tackler, and then I was trying to correct it by saying tackle, and it got real murky there for a second. Almost as murky as the swamp that is in fucking Valheim. The Dolphins signed defensive tackle Zach Sealer to a 3-year, $67.75 million extension. $44 million in guarantees. Had 11 sacks last year in 2024. So, in terms of the NFL market, probably worth it. Looks like Tucker Kraft of the Packers has a mild groin injury, so they're going to give him a couple of days off to, let him rest up, that sort of thing, not re-aggravate it, all that good shit. So, look for Luke Musgrave to get a few more reps, which is good for him, because he needs the reps more than Tucker Kraft. Emmanuel Wilson apparently dodged a bullet being a serious knee injury after leaving practice early on Friday. It was an extremely, and I quote, extremely scary non-contact injury, but the tests look well, so I don't know what we would say day to day or whatever. He's not going to be gone for an extended period of time, which is good. He is definitely our number 2, although Marshawn Lloyd, who I love, I think Marshawn Lloyd's going to be great as a nice number 2 change of pace back. I don't think he'll be a feature back. He was a 3rd round pick or something, a second. He's going to be good, but he needs to stay healthy too. But the fact of the matter is the Packers have a ton of depth at running back. We've got Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, and Chris Brooks. So I actually expect us to carry 4 running backs into the season. I think if Marshawn Lloyd stays healthy, he might be the best of the bunch. Now, he's not going to get as many totes as fucking Josh Jacobs, but he's going to... I think he's the best, the most talented one. That's all I can say about that. But I know we also had Jaden Jaden Reed has been a little banged up, hasn't had a great training camp. I believe we had a few guys returning from injury the other day. One of them was a concussion. I think that was Savion Williams. First year, he's going to be more of a gadget guy. I don't think he's going to contribute on special teams necessarily. We haven't had any major injuries, knock on wood, but of course we've had quite a few minor injuries, so keep an eye on it and see what happens. But I think so far we've had pretty good luck. We haven't torn any ACLs or anything like that, which is great. I need to quickly take a look and see if this is true. This would be a pretty good deal. The Cincinnati Bengals signed Noah Fant to a one-year deal. I do not know the terms at all, but I think this is a tight end that fits the Bengals, gives Joe Burrow another tertiary option. 500 yards last year. He's only 27 years old. I mean, I think that's a good signing for the Bengals because they probably didn't have to pay a whole lot. Turn my attention to the chats real quick here. I could toot the horn once. You know, if I had one of those soundboards like Nathan, I'd be tooting my own horn a little bit there. Definitely. So I think the NFL news there was hit right out of the ballpark, maybe even farther than the NBA coverage, I would say. The Blue Jays and the Yankees both lost today. I'm going to apologize to Zal for the inconvenience. Being swept by a team like the Miami Marlins, who, let's face it, they got pretty good pitching, so I can see how that would happen. I mean, they're 500, they're a 55-55 team. Technically speaking, if they were in the same division of the Yankees, they'd only be like 5 games back or 4.5 back, something like that. But that's still a shitty series to get swept by. Not that getting swept is ever nice, but getting swept by the Miami Marlins sucks. That actually does propel Boston into second place in the American League East. So the Yankees are 4.5 back of the Jays. Jays haven't been playing great. We're 4-6 in our last 10, as are the Yankees. Boston continues to play hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10, winning 5 in a row. The Blue Jays had a 2-1 lead entering the 8th inning. So let's start there and let's take a look at the pitching and see who blew it for us. So Chris Bassett, 6 innings, had 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a hit. It's a good day for Chris Bassett. Good bounce back start from his last outing, which was pretty shitty. Brandon Little was good today. Picked up a hold, his 22nd of the year. Lewis Varland is the one who blew the game. 1 earned run, 2 hits. So I don't think he let a home run, at the very least. No home runs. Jeff Hoffman went an inning, didn't surrender a run. Then this was like where it really fell apart. So in extra innings, Sir Anthony Dominguez, so it was 2-2 after 9, obviously, so that's why you go to extra innings, right? You go to extra innings because it's fucking tied up. Sir Anthony Dominguez had a terrible fucking outing. He let 3 earned runs. He didn't record a note. He let 5 runs total. So we found ourselves down, what was that be, 7-2. We ended up losing, 7-4. So we kind of made it a little close. But, I mean, it was a close game. We could have closed that game out. Didn't. But just couldn't command. Sir Anthony showed the ugly side that we know he does have sometimes. He's got a powerful arm, but just, lack of command there and just an inability to get one out kind of sucks. But, hey, it is what it is. You move on to the next day. Tommy Nance pitched shortly thereafter. In terms of offense, 8 hits on the day. We're just going to quickly break through it. Did we do anything in terms of home runs? Nope. None whatsoever. So you got Nathan Lukes, 1 for 5, so not a great day at the office. He did have an RBI, though. Joey Loperfido continuing to play very hot, 2 for 5, with an RBI. That OPS at 967 now. You've got Addison Barger, just 1 for 5. He's starting to cool down. He's down to a 813 OPS. Vladimir Guerrero, 0 for 4. He did have a walk at least, but still, that's not a great day. Gonna have to start carrying the team sometimes. Bo Bichette, 1 for 3, so he's staying hot. Dalton Varsho 0 for 3, so I mean he's hitting a $194 with power on the year, but he's not going to hit much higher. He'll hit like 220, but he's not known for hitting average. We do know that. That is one problem with him, and well, we'll get into that in the offseason. We'll save that for the offseason. Ernie Clement was 2 for 3, so good day for him. And Miles Straw was 1 for 3 as well. So I think if you're a Yankees fan and a Jays fan, you're not happy with how you're playing. If you're a Jays fan, though, you're 65 and 48. You still have the best record in the American League, tied with Detroit at 65 and 48. But still not, I don't know. Just not happy with how we're playing lately. But again, you're 17 above 500. Just move on. Could be worse. You could be a Yankees fan, right? We did have... Well, we're not going to go over the moves yet. We're going to go over the scores. And I believe this is why Sage was text messaging me and telling me to hold off until tomorrow when we've got the standings, was his excuse. Well, Sage, I think the real reason why you didn't want us to do the stream was because you wanted to cower. You wanted to hide the fact that you surrendered. You tapped. You tapped. I made you tap this week. I fucking put you in a triangle choke, and I made you fucking tap my ass. I didn't mean it like that. Oh, God. Dear God. You know what I mean. I made you tap like a little bitch. And I have now taken, I believe, first place. I didn't do this shit to you. No, you fucking tapped. You say my name. You say Rodfather. I bet you tap, Sage. You guys are sick fucking people. You're misconstruing what I'm saying, and it's actually making me very angry. You guys have sick minds. I didn't say anything that was considered GEH. Anyways, I'm not going to be angry for much longer because I believe in myself, and I believe what I did this week has never, ever been done in fantasy sports before. At least not in our leagues. I won 16-0 in a grudge match. I came in swinging fucking George Foreman fucking haymakers, and I knocked a motherfucker out. Sorry that it happens to be a woman. That's just the way it happened. But I won 16-0. The Rodfather, a clean sweep. 16-0 over Alejandro's non-astounding team. Boom! I do not need to be investigated. I give you guys all the same advice. Whether you choose to listen to it or not is your own prerogative. I'm good that way. Well, the top two races, it's going to be a swashbuckle now. It's going to be a swashbuckle now. And we'll get into the mathematics. I didn't tell you to drop players. You asked, should I drop Yandy Diaz a few months ago, and I said I would. I said I would. I also said you shouldn't drop Jordan Westburg, and we got that reversed after a very heated debate here at the Thundercloud. One that resulted in me knocking Dan's ass out in real life. I did say Yandy Diaz at that time to get rid of him. I'm not a big Yandy Diaz fan. I like his on-base percentage, but in his career, he's only ever had 2 years where he hit for any sort of power, and at the time, he only had 1 year where he hit for power. So, we're going to keep moving it on. We've heard enough of what you've had to say. You can now slow your roll and shut your fucking mouth. Yeah, I set it all up so that she'd be pretty good for the whole year, and then she'd drop off right when she played me. I set it up so good. I'm a fucking mastermind, right? I set it up that perfectly. I'll take ownership of that, certainly. Let's get to the rest of the scores, though. Vlad the Impaler's Donald trumped Tommy Callahan's Auto Parts 1124, which is the reason why we've got a picture of Tommy Callahan as our display picture for today, because I suspect that's how Sage looks like right now. That's what I suspect. You can report me all you like, but at the end of the day, I'm the governor. I'm the one calling the shots, okay? I'm Peyton Manning, and right now I'm Omaha, okay? So let's go with the next matchup. Dan squeaked out a victory against Bases Loaded IBB. Bases Loaded IBB keeps himself alive with an 8-7 loss. However, he is going to lose ground on 6th place, as Annette's awesome team won 13-3 against Graham's great team. So Graham moves further into the basement, or the cellar, however you want to say it. And then you've basically got Bases Loaded IBB probably going to be... Ooh. How many weeks are left in the season before the playoffs is what I want to know. I can put myself on trial. I don't have a problem doing that. I'm innocent. All right? I've ruled that I'm innocent. 2 weeks are left. Bases Loaded IBB, I will not count you out. At the same time, I believe that Aaron Judge will not see the playoffs both in real life and both on your team. So, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. He's certainly not making it in with Bases Loaded IBB. Bases Loaded IBB is toast. He is done like dinner. Put a fork in him. The fat lady's warming up her voice. How much would I bet that you don't make the playoffs? No, I would actually bet on the Yankees making the playoffs. I'm not an idiot. I would actually bet on the Yankees making the playoffs. As a wild card team, you know what I mean? Odds are they're still going to make the playoffs. Like, who's going to catch them outside of, like, okay. That's the thing. So you got the Jays, you've got the Yankees, you've got the Red Sox. Who's going to catch them from behind? Like, someone in the Central? Like, do I think Kansas City's going to? No. Do I think Cleveland's going to? No. Like, who would catch them? It almost seems like, unless barring something crazy, which can happen, the playoffs are kind of set, in my opinion. That's the way I see it. Now, we do have a couple moves to go over, so let's take a look. Wilmer Flores was dropped by Tommy Callahan's Auto Parts in favor of Vinny Pasquantino. So let's take a look at both players and see if Sage did the right thing. Wilmer Flores is a guy that can play multiple positions on the infield based on my understanding. Vinny Pasquantino, I don't understand all the hype with him. In real life, I'd love to have Vinny Pasquantino. In fantasy, not so much. He has 766 OPS this year, a 776 career OPS. Most of it's been in the 760s his entire career, except his first year when he looked like he might be a potential stud. He's got 18 home runs. I mean, he'll set his career high, I guess, for home runs. Average 266 for his career, 264 this year. On base, 326. All right. Wilmer Flores is not doing very good this year. He is now 33 years old, 699 OPS, so I would have made that move as well. The next thing we got, Matt Strom and Brandon Little. Matt Strom, I thought we already went over this. Well, Vinny Pasquantino, I don't think you're going to lose any sleep over it. In fact, I said get rid of Xander Bogaerts, not Vinny Pasquantino. Oh, Flores is actually locked in at one base in fantasy. Why is Strom showing up after the Pasquantino one? Oh, you added him yesterday, dropped him today for Brendan Little, who, I mean, we know enough about Brendan Little. He's getting a lot of holes this year. He's got 22 of them. Been pretty solid, 2.7 with his ERA, and I believe he's got the best whiff rate in the MLB, which is kind of crazy. He's like very good for whiff rate. He's got a lot of movement. Doesn't have super power or anything like that. I think he's got good spin on the ball as a lefty, though. It looks like Cam Schittler was dropped by bases loaded IBB in favor of Jorge Polanco. So let's take a quick look at those guys. And by those guys, I mean Jorge Polanco. Schittler is a young guy who throws hard. I do know that. Looks like he's got pretty good stuff. I don't know how he's been doing, though. Let me see what Sage is saying first, though. Since the Phillies got Duran, Strong probably doesn't get a ton, I imagine. I'd be their setup guy, you know what I mean? All right, Jorge Polanco. So what's he, a second baseman? He's got a 781 OPS, 349 plate appearances, pretty good power, 17. Not a big stolen base threat. Probably not a bad move. You need a middle infielder. Seems like it's an all right move there. I'm not sure if he still plays shortstop as well, but what's his career? 7.66. Looks like a solid little player. Probably a platoon guy, though. I'd say he's definitely probably a bit of a platoon guy. I can just kind of tell he's a platoon guy. He does bat both, though, so let's take a look at the splits. Let's go 2025, see how he's hitting, and then look at his career. So against righties this year, he's hitting 797 OPS, 694 against lefties in 2025. In his career, he is 785 against righties, 721. So pretty good balance, actually, in his career. Definitely better to be a better hitter against a right-handed pitcher than a left-handed pitcher, given that there's more righties in the league than there is left-handers. That's a weird thing to have on an ESPN thing. Khabib Nurmagomedov is hoping that Conor McGregor changes how he's living. Okay, I don't care to talk about that at all. All right, I will check the comments before I swiftly leave here. Well, he didn't set up shit. You can't use them every night, Sage. These guys need rest, okay? That's all there is to it. But no Age of Empires tonight, guys. Can't do it. Probably tomorrow. I think we can bounce back and do an Age of Empires. But Valheim was an extremely grueling fucking stream. Fucking 5.5 hours or more, something like that. So wasn't expecting us to go that deep in that game. But yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Share this shit to Twitter and Facebook shortly. Y'all have a good night. The thundercloud is out. Probably play a little bit of Blatro, listen to some Kenny Rogers, and that's all there is to it. Night, guys.